Welcome back to our tiny woodland with me, Rach, and Dan. This footage was taken in February 2024, around the time that we first became guardians of the woodland. It was early days and we had a very basic base camp set up, which you've just seen. I think you'll see it again in a few seconds. We got a tarp to shelter from the rain if it happened that time of year, quite a bit of rain. Some of our camping chairs from camping trips and a tripod barbecue so that we could boil a kettle and cook food while we were there. I'm in the northern part of the woodland here, and as you can see off to the left we have the arable fields. We are surrounded by arable fields on three sides. The other side is with the neighbouring woodland. It was originally one larger woodland and the agent split it into two amenity plots. If you're wondering what the things on the ground are, you probably know, but they're tree guards. So when we got the woods, the tree guards were all still in place. Now I think the guide is for areas with low browsing pressure from deer and such. It's 3 to 5 years, and I think you can probably look at extending that to 7 to 10 years if the area has high deer browsing pressure. Therefore, when we got the woods, all of the tree guards were still in place. They had been for 20 years. They needed to come off, and they needed to come off quickly to prevent restricting any further growth of the trees or becoming embedded in the trees, as some of the stakes have, the wooden stakes that hold up the tree guards. So we set about removing them from day one. The approach for that was to slice them using a knife. Mora knives we use. We found them to be very good, very affordable. They come in a sheath which can clip onto your belt. Again, very, very useful. And then we removed them and simply piled them into piles, ready for spring and summer when we began going around with a trolley collecting them up. You can see there the boundary marker with next door. I'm walking along the boundary here. It is essentially still one wood. We have lovely woodland neighbours who value their privacy as much as we do, so we don't really see much of them. We allow each other to get on with things in private. Sometimes we bump into them at the gate if we happen to arrive at the same time. Have a little chin wag about what we've both been doing, and we do find that our visions for our two woodlands are very closely aligned, so that's really good as well. So I'm now heading south along the boundary, looking towards the previous base camp. More tree guards, and here you can really see the straight lines of the trees as they were planted 22 years ago now. And moving on into the Hazel coppice section of our tiny woodland. Directly in front of me, that large tree there is one of the poplar, hybrid poplar, non-native. They have grown exceptionally well, probably due to the damp ground. So the popular form the standards. More traditionally it might be oak standards with hazel. And now you can see the hazel again in very straight rows. We will keep it that way. There's no need to change that specifically, because as we carry on with the coppicing over time, it will become more of a mosaicked habitat anyway, with varying ages of coppice. So it will be useful to the wildlife. This is the boggy area that I've mentioned before. It is at its worst in late autumn, early winter. Here I managed to get through without losing any footwear, which is always a bonus. And up ahead, you might be able to see it in a second, where the grass is on the woodland floor. That is a micro glade with a bench that the agent placed. You probably recognise those benches from a certain agent. And you can see how this little glade gets light to the woodland floor, because the grasses don't completely die back at all there, having been quite vigorous during the summer months because they get a little bit of sunshine. So little micro glade, very peaceful place to come and sit any time of year to listen to the bird song. Feel quite comfortably alone. Good place for thinking. I will do some videos of this place in summer. It is transformed. And then you can see the difference between winter and summer. Little wave. Hello. Tree guard's very much still on in this area. We have cleared some since this video was filmed. I hope you've enjoyed this. There will be more to come of different areas of the woodland in winter in those early days. So please subscribe and like and comment. Thanks for watching.